fact-checking their statement. She joins us now to discuss what checked out and what didn't. Jane, this is one of my favorite things to do. Thanks for being with us. Let's start with Elizabeth Warren.
Happy to be here.
Thank you. Let's start with Elizabeth Warren. She addressed policy head-on, specifically talking about her plan for a tax on the wealthy. What did she say, and what was your fact-checking takeaway?
Elizabeth Warren was trying to socialize a different kind of tax, this wealth tax, which for her taxes assets over $50 million at 2%. And she said, OK, you have $50 million and $1, and we're going to take 2 cents of that. She pitched it as this small, tiny tax and said, well, what can we do with 2 cents or 2%? And she listed off this long list of things that she wants to do with that money. Now, it sounds like a little bit of tax, but Americans mostly see taxes as income taxes. How much do they pay on the money that they make? And one of the economists that I talk to a lot when I'm doing fact-checking, he tweeted and he said, you know what, this is really misleading because that 2% tax could look more like 40% if you actually talk about how much money makes. Money makes money, of course. But let's say you have $100 in the market and it's making $5 every year. That's a 5% return on investment. A 2% tax every year is a 40% income tax on that $100. And people hold assets to make more money. So for him, it was very misleading. And I think that it sort of underplayed how much money that wealth tax would bring in.
The 2030 climate cliff came up yesterday as well. Remind us why that year is relevant and what the candidates are saying about it.
So Democrats talk about this all the time. 2030 is the point of no return, they say. This comes up often. But let's talk about where they got that year. 2030 is a year that was picked out by a UN climate report, sort of explaining and looking at this 1 year as where we need to get to before then and what happens after then to sort of reverse destruction from climate change. But 2030 is not a cliff in any way. It's not a sort of point of no return. It's not the horizon of catastrophe, as Pete Buttigieg said. It's actually just a year that was picked out because a lot of countries have promised to reduce carbon emissions by that point. So the year is not some sort of moment in time in 2 administrations where everything falls apart. It's more a year that the UN climate report that came out last year said, you know, here's what we got to do by then. But climate scientists will tell you the hotter it gets, the worse it gets. But there isn't a point where you can't fix things.
Jane, anything else that stood out as you watched the debates last night, or anything that just made you scratch your head and think, God, that doesn't seem like it's factually correct?
You know, there were a couple of things that surprised me. I remember Pete Buttigieg said that 90% of Republicans want background checks. And I actually went through and checked it. That number is pretty low. It comes in at 92, sometimes even 97%, depending on where we are in a news cycle. And those are the things that surprise you when you're fact-checking these things. But I will say, people don't bend the facts for fun. They bend the facts to try and get a point across. And why you're seeing sort of a lot of these things that get confusing or unclear is because you have a very crowded field. And in 45 seconds, it is very hard to articulate why you want this massive systemic change that so many Democrats are getting across. And until this field winnows, it's going to get a little confusing, and there's going to be a fair amount of misinformation. So we'll be fact-checking all along.
Yeah, Jane, thanks for clearing all that up for us. We appreciate it.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.